The 7 Golden Benefits of the English Plum. Good morning, my dear friends. Here in the heart of Yorkshire, late June drifts gently into July. The sun has turned golden, pouring over the countryside like warm honey, while the soft western breeze carries a tender scent of summer rain. It's that kind of weather that makes one feel a little wistful, warm but gentle, bright yet nostalgic. What do we long for in such a moment? Perhaps the sound of blackbirds singing on an old oak tree, or the scent of freshly cut hay from a nearby field. But above all, I find myself missing the first taste of English plums, those bright, tender fruits that mark the true arrival of summer in every village market. In London or in the small countryside stalls of Kent, you'll see them baskets full of plums, shining like little jewels in shades of red and purple, with a thin, silvery bloom like morning mist. Just one look brings back a flood of memories. For me, every plum carries the taste of childhood, running barefoot through the orchard behind my grandmother's cottage, climbing the old tree to pick the ripest ones still warm from the afternoon sun. Sweet, slightly tart, juicy, simple joys that time can never erase. Tell me, my friends, have you ever picked a plum straight from the tree? Felt the soft fuzz on its skin, the burst of flavor as you bite in? If you have, do share your memory in the comments. Let's recall together those summers of youth, those moments when life was slow and sweet. But today I'd like to invite you to look at the humble English plum from another angle, not just as a nostalgic fruit, but as a natural gift for our health, especially in our later years. You see, over my years as a health practitioner, I've witnessed how simple, everyday foods often carry silent healing power, if only we learn to cherish them. The plum may seem ordinary, but it is, in truth, a hidden treasure for the heart, blood pressure, and memory. Modern research has shown that each small plum contains around 113 milligrams of potassium, a mineral that helps regulate heartbeat, relax blood vessels, and naturally support stable blood pressure. So no, we don't always need expensive supplements or fancy pills. Sometimes, it's the humble fruit from the summer orchard that keeps our hearts strong and our lives steady. My dear friends, as we grow older, the question many of us quietly ask each morning is simple. Will my heart beat evenly today? Will my blood pressure stay calm? After all, our bodies are no longer as resilient as they once were. Just one sleepless night or a sudden shift in weather and we feel it right away, a racing pulse, a restless mind. That's why caring for our heart isn't something far away, it's something we do every day, one meal, one fruit, one gentle walk at a time. And perhaps, somewhere between those quiet moments of breakfast tea and gentle afternoon light, a few slices of fresh English plum can become our sweetest little medicine, a touch of nature's kindness, keeping us steady, grateful, and alive. So my dear viewers, let's begin today's story, 7 Golden Benefits of the English Plum. Stay with me and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that this channel may continue to walk beside you, helping you live joyfully, healthily, and long in every golden year to come. Plums for the heart and for comfort. My dear friends, if potassium is like the quiet conductor of a great orchestra, then our heart is its devoted violin, steady only when guided well. Potassium keeps every beat in tune, ensuring that blood flows gently through every vessel, every tiny passage in our body. But the story of the plum doesn't end there. Look closer at its deep red and purple skin, so glossy, so inviting, and you'll find something far more precious than its beauty. Hidden within is a natural healer called anthocyanin, one of nature's most powerful antioxidants. Think of anthocyanins as the diligent street cleaners of your arteries, sweeping away harmful cholesterol deposits that can narrow your blood vessels. By keeping those roads clean, they help prevent the dangerous buildup that leads to heart attacks and strokes. A study from the University of California found that people who regularly eat anthocyanin-rich fruits, such as plums, blueberries, or blackberries, can lower their risk of heart disease by up to 32%. Even British cardiologists now often encourage their patients to include antioxidant-rich foods in daily meals, and the humble English plum stands proudly among the safest and most effective choices. I often tell my senior patients, no, plums are not a magic pill, but they are a quiet friend that stays by your side every single day. Just 2 or 3 plums after lunch or dinner, that's all it takes. A small, sweet act of self-care for your heart, with no side effects, only comfort. So next time you're at a local farmer's market in Kent or Devon, and you see those rosy plums glistening under the sunlight, don't just walk past. Remember, each of those little fruits carries a gentle kindness from nature herself, a silent promise to keep your heart steady and strong. And when your heart is calm, your blood flows freely. Only then can you truly feel the lightness in your body, the peace of a quiet morning shared with loved ones over a cup of tea and a slice of toast. But the story doesn't end with the heart. Let's move on, my dear friends, to another secret of this beautiful fruit, one that brings comfort in a very different way. You see, after more than 30 years in healthcare, there's one issue I've heard countless times from older patients: constipation. It may sound like a small nuisance, but it quietly steals away much of life's comfort. A bloated stomach, loss of appetite, restless sleep, and yet it's something many hesitate to mention, even to their family doctor. That's why whenever someone complains about sluggish digestion, my first advice isn't medicine, it's nature. And among natural remedies, the plum remains one of my favorites. Why? Because plums are rich in dietary fiber, especially soluble fiber known as pectin. You can imagine it like a gentle broom gliding through the intestines, sweeping away waste and toxins that have lingered for too long. This helps keep the bowel movement smooth, natural, and effortless, a quiet relief that makes daily life just a little bit lighter. So my dear listeners, next time you enjoy a few slices of fresh plum after your meal, remember it's not just dessert. It's a small, tender gift from nature, bringing you both sweetness and health, quietly supporting your heart and your digestion day after day. And now, shall we move on to the next wonderful benefit of this simple English fruit, the quiet healer for digestion and sight? But that's not all, my dear friends. Inside every English plum lies two remarkable natural compounds, isetin and sorbitol. To put it simply, isetin acts like a gentle conductor, guiding the rhythm of your intestines to move in harmony, while sorbitol works like a soft summer rain, drawing water into the bowel and keeping everything comfortably smooth. Imagine waking up each morning with your stomach light, your body refreshed, and your mind at ease. Breakfast tastes better, laughter comes easier, and sleep at night feels deeper. That's the quiet chain reaction that begins with a healthy gut, and very often the humble plum is the one that starts it all. I still remember one of my patients, Mrs. Thompson, a lovely lady in her 70s from Bath. When she first visited, she looked worried. "Doctor," she sighed, "I eat well, but it's been 3 or 4 days and nothing moves. It's miserable." I didn't rush to prescribe pills. Instead, I gently told her, "Try a few ripe plums after lunch every day, just the fresh, soft ones you find at the local market." 2 weeks later, she returned with a bright smile. "It worked, doctor. Everything's back to normal, and I sleep much better too." Moments like that remind me how powerful simple, natural foods can be when used wisely. Of course, moderation matters. For digestive support, eat 2 or 3 plums a day, not too many, and never on an empty stomach. Always choose ripe, clean fruit, wash them well, especially since our digestion becomes more sensitive with age. So yes, my friends, what seems like a light summer snack might actually be a quiet little savior for a sluggish digestive system. Give it a try, a few plums each day, no medicine needed, and soon your stomach will feel calm and your body refreshed. And when your body rests easy, your sleep deepens, your spirit softens, and your eyes begin to truly see the beauty of the world again. Which brings us to the third wonderful gift of the English plum, its ability to support our vision and protect the windows of the soul. I often tell my patients, a strong heart keeps you alive, but bright eyes let you love life. As the years pass, our once clear eyes can grow tired, dry, or dim, and suddenly, even reading the morning paper or watching television becomes a struggle. Many older friends in Manchester or Bristol tell me the same. "Doctor, the words blur no matter how close I hold the paper," or "The TV used to look so clear, but now it's as if there's a soft fog between me and the screen." These are early signs of macular degeneration or cataracts, two common, quiet thieves of sight that gradually steal away our independence and joy. When vision fades, so does the pleasure of reading, sewing, recognizing loved ones' faces, all those simple joys that light up our golden years. That's why protecting your eyesight is just as vital as caring for your heart. And here again, our humble plum lends a gentle hand. You see, plums are naturally rich in vitamin A and beta-carotene, nutrients that play a key role in maintaining clear vision and a healthy cornea, the natural glass shield that protects your eyes. Each bite of plum, in its quiet way, nourishes the very layer that keeps your world bright and vivid. So next time you sit by the window with your afternoon tea, let a few slices of fresh English plum accompany you. Think of them as a small act of gratitude for your heart that beats faithfully, for your stomach that works quietly, and for your eyes that still see the sunlight filtering through the leaves. And now, my dear listeners, let's move forward together to discover yet another gentle secret of the plum, one that keeps our bones strong and joints supple through the seasons of life. Bright eyes and a sharper mind, the hidden gift of the English plum. And there's more, my dear friends. The English plum doesn't just soothe your digestion, it quietly guards your eyesight too. You see, the natural pigments that give plums their deep ruby and purple shades are full of beta-carotene and vitamin A, both essential for clear, strong vision. Beta-carotene acts as a gentle shield for the retina, protecting it from gradual wear and tear, the very process that leads to macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness among older adults. Plums also help prevent cataracts, that cloudy mist many people describe when their world begins to lose focus. I remember an old gentleman, Mr. Harris, a retired teacher from Manchester, who came to see me, complaining that his eyes often watered and the newspaper looked blurred even under a lamp. After an exam and some advice, I told him, along with your regular eye drops, add a few fresh summer plums to your meals. 2 months later, he returned smiling. Doctor, he said, my eyes feel clearer and I rather enjoy eating plums now, knowing they're doing something good for me. Hearing that always warms my heart. Not because plums are a miracle cure, but because people start to see and cherish the quiet power of nature's gifts. Eating plums isn't just about flavor. It's about preserving the light that lets you read your grandchild's letter, look at old photographs, or simply watch the afternoon sun stretch across your garden. Keeping your eyes bright isn't only about sight, it's about feeling, loving, and still finding beauty in every small moment. When your heart is steady, your body at ease, and your eyes clear, life after 60 isn't just longer, it's more beautiful. And now, my friends, let's turn to another precious gift the plum brings: a clearer mind and sharper memory. Because living long is one thing, remembering well is another blessing entirely. Have you ever stood still for a moment trying to recall the name of a neighbor, or where you put your glasses, or what you were about to do, only to feel that fog of forgetfulness settle in? At first we laugh it off, oh, I'm just getting older. But over time, that gentle fog can grow thicker, leaving us anxious, frustrated, or quietly sad. As a doctor, I've seen it in many older patients, kind faces searching for a name, a story, a memory that just won't come. Age, stress, and pollution slowly wear down the brain's communication lines, making it harder for our nerve cells to send and store information. Left unchecked, this can develop into serious memory decline or even dementia, a condition that burdens both the sufferer and their family deeply. But nature, as always, has left us quiet helpers. And the humble plum, that simple summer fruit from English orchards, is one of them. Its rich color comes from anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that defend the brain from the damage caused by free radicals, those invisible troublemakers born from pollution, poor diet, and stress. By neutralizing them, anthocyanins protect brain cells, boost oxygen flow, and keep our memory sharper for longer. So yes, a few plums in your daily routine aren't just a sweet indulgence. They're a gentle way to keep your heart steady, your eyes bright, and your thoughts clear. Because in the quiet rhythm of caring for ourselves, the smallest things, a fruit, a walk, a smile, often hold the greatest power. Plums for a clear mind and steady blood sugar. And so, my dear friends, the story of the English plum continues, not just as a sweet memory of summer, but as a quiet guardian of both the mind and the body. Inside each small, juicy plum lies a remarkable power, a wealth of antioxidants that work like brave little soldiers, repairing and refreshing the delicate cells of our brain every single day. I once came across a fascinating study measuring something called the ORAC score, a scientific way to rate how well foods fight oxidative stress. To my surprise, the humble plum scored astonishingly high, even higher than many exotic fruits that cost far more. That means simply eating 3 or 4 ripe plums each day can be a gentle, natural way to care for your brain, keeping your thoughts clear, your memory alive, and your spirit bright. I remember a man named Mr. Carlins, a widower from Brighton, who came to me one spring looking lost and weary. "Doctor," he said softly, "since my wife passed, I forget things, I sit alone and drift away." He refused medication but promised to eat a few fresh plums every afternoon from his local market. Weeks later, he returned, smiling faintly. "A strange thing," he said. "My head feels lighter now. I remember more, even the songs we used to dance to." Moments like that touch me deeply, because sometimes healing doesn't come from pills, but from a small act of faith in the quiet wisdom of nature. When we trust in something as simple as a plum, we give our minds a chance to stay steady against the storms of age. For when the mind stays clear, life feels whole again, whether it's remembering a loved one's name, recalling a doctor's advice, or simply chatting happily with your grandchildren over tea. And now, my friends, let's turn to another common worry in our later years: blood sugar. Many seniors tell me the same story. Doctor, my blood sugar goes up and down. I can't enjoy the foods I love anymore. And I understand. There's a special sadness in watching the things that once brought joy, a slice of cake, a bowl of berries, turn into a source of fear. When eating feels risky, life loses a bit of its sweetness. But what if I told you that one fruit, yes, our very own English plum, can bring back that joy safely? Unlike many sugary fruits, plums have a low glycemic index, GI. That means the natural sugars they contain are released slowly into the bloodstream, like pouring water gently into a glass instead of splashing it in all at once. This steady release helps prevent sudden spikes in blood sugar, making plums a smart, safe choice for people living with diabetes or prediabetes. But that's not all. Plums also contain plenty of soluble fiber, especially a type called pectin, the same friendly fiber that slows sugar absorption in the small intestine. This gives your body time to process sugar smoothly, easing the burden on your pancreas, the small but vital organ that produces insulin. So yes, my friends, even those watching their blood sugar can enjoy this little English treasure, not only for its taste, but for its quiet kindness to the body. A few plums after lunch on a warm summer day, that's not indulgence, it's balance. It's the sweet proof that nature still looks after us, one gentle bite at a time. Plums for blood sugar balance and summer cooling. And yet the wonders of the English plum don't stop there. Beyond its sweetness and color, this humble fruit holds a quiet intelligence, a gift of balance for those living with diabetes or blood sugar concerns. The antioxidants found in plums, especially anthocyanins and polyphenols, have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, helping the body use sugar more efficiently. Some studies from Cambridge University even found that certain natural enzymes in the liver respond positively to compounds in plums, gently supporting the regulation of glucose levels naturally and without strain. I remember a charming old lady from Bristol, Mrs. Williams, who had been managing type 2 diabetes for nearly a decade. During one of her visits, she sighed and said, "Doctor, I miss plums terribly. They are sweet, aren't they? I suppose I shouldn't touch them." I smiled and replied, "You can, Mrs. Williams, just the right way." So she began eating 3 or 4 ripe plums after lunch each day, slowly, mindfully, never on an empty stomach. 2 months later, she came back, her face glowing with energy. "My sugar's steady, doctor," she said, "and that tart sweet taste, it keeps me happy and calm. I don't crave biscuits anymore." It's stories like hers that remind me how wise nature can be. You don't always need something fancy or foreign. Sometimes a local summer fruit carries all the goodness your body needs. Simple, honest, kind, that's what nature offers us. So yes, my dear friends, plums are not only safe for those managing blood sugar, they're also comforting. Eat them moderately, about 3 to 5 at a time after a meal. Choose fresh, firm ones, wash them well, and let them cool you from the inside out. Because as it turns out, plums aren't just sweet. They're wonderfully cooling too, a natural way to ease that restless heat that often comes with British summers. You know those humid afternoons in London or Liverpool when even a cup of tea feels too warm and you can't seem to sleep well at night? That heavy feeling, dry mouth, bitter taste, uneasy stomach is what we might call internal heat. Our bodies, especially as we age, become more sensitive to small changes, and too much heat inside can throw everything off balance. That's why every summer I remind my older patients, don't just cool the air, cool the body. And among all the natural cooling foods I recommend, plums always take one of the top spots. In traditional herbal wisdom, plums are said to have a balanced nature, neither too hot nor too cold, making them perfect for older bodies. They gently support liver detoxification, soothe dryness, and bring back a feeling of lightness, like a soft English rain after a long, warm day. Just imagine, after lunch on a sunny afternoon, you bite into a crisp, ripe plum. Its skin cracks softly, the juice tart yet refreshing glides down your throat. For a moment the warmth fades, your breath eases, and the world feels calm again. It's no wonder the English once made plum cordial and plum syrup with honey and ginger not just for taste, but as a traditional remedy to cool the body and refresh the spirit. So the next time summer feels heavy, reach not for soda or sweets, but for a few simple plums. They are nature's quiet answer to balance, a touch of sweetness, a touch of calm, and a promise of well-being. The cooling touch of summer and stronger bones with every plum. I once met an elderly gentleman from Bath in his early 70s who often complained about feeling overheated, restless, and unable to sleep. He told me, "My children keep giving me liver detox pills, doctor, but they make me feel worse, not better." So I suggested something simpler, something his body would understand, a few ripe English plums crushed gently with a spoonful of pure honey. Just one small teaspoon after meals every day. A week later, he returned smiling. "Doctor," he said, "I feel lighter, my stomach's calm, my skin's clearer, and I've been sleeping through the night again." It didn't surprise me. Plums are rich in natural antioxidants that help the liver filter toxins and cleanse the blood. Their vitamin C and natural water content also stimulate saliva production, easing dry mouth, improving digestion, and bringing back that feeling of comfort that only good health can give. In fact, for centuries across the English countryside, plums have been used as a gentle home remedy for summer ailments, soothing the lungs, easing mild coughs, and cooling the body when the weather turns heavy. Some even soak plums in salt or honey, then dry them to make a refreshing infusion that helps prevent internal heat and fatigue during warm days. But as with everything, balance is key. Plums are naturally tangy, and eating too many, especially on an empty stomach, can upset sensitive digestion. So I always tell my patients, enjoy them after meals, about 5 to 7 at a time, and make sure they're fresh, washed, and clean. Only then can a plum truly be a healing fruit, gentle and kind to the body. On those warm English afternoons when the air feels heavy and sleep is hard to come by, a few cool plums can do wonders not just for the body but for the spirit. They don't simply cool the skin, they calm the heart. Like a soft breeze over a summer garden, they bring a quiet ease from the inside out. And once the body feels light and calm again, we can finally focus on something every senior cares deeply about: strong bones. You see, my dear friends, the longer we live, the more we understand this simple truth. The first thing to weaken isn't always the eyes or the memory, it's the bones. At our age, even a small misstep, a slippery floor, a low stair can cause fractures that take months to heal. I've seen many older patients hospitalized simply because of a fall in the bathroom. That's why bone health is more than just strength, it's independence. It's the freedom to walk, to garden, to visit friends without fear. And here again, our humble English plum offers quiet support. Research has shown that both fresh and dried plums, or prunes as they're called here in Britain, can help prevent bone loss and even increase bone density, especially in women after menopause. In one study from the University of California, postmenopausal women who ate about 100 grams of prunes daily for a year had noticeably denser bones in their spine and forearm than those who didn't. Why? Because plums are full of key minerals like magnesium, iron, and most importantly, vitamin K. If you think of bones as a house, then calcium is the brick, but vitamin K is the cement that holds it all together. Without it, the calcium can't bind properly, leaving bones brittle and fragile. With it, the structure becomes stronger, denser, and more resilient, a solid home for your spirit to live freely. So yes, something as ordinary as a few plums a day, nature's little jewels of summer, can quietly help keep your body steady, your steps confident, and your life full of motion and grace. Because in the end, health isn't just the absence of illness, it's the presence of lightness in the body, in the heart, and in every simple joy we still hold dear. The final chapter, how to enjoy plums the right way. There's one more thing I'd like to share with you before we close, my dear friends. Beyond all the wonderful benefits we've talked about, from the heart to the mind, from digestion to the bones, there's a small but important secret: how to enjoy plums the right way. I still remember a lovely lady from Yorkshire in her early 60s who came to see me complaining of aching knees and a stiff lower back. After her checkup, I gave her a simple plan: a light walk each morning, a diet rich in calcium, and a few dried English plums every day, along with plenty of water. 3 months later, she returned with a smile that said more than words could. "Doctor," she said, "I don't know if it's the plums or the walking, but I can do my shopping now without stopping halfway." Moments like that remind me how powerful natural foods can be when used with care. Of course, plums aren't magic. They can't replace medicine or heal overnight. but when eaten mindfully, along with movement, sunshine, and patience, they become part of a beautiful web of protection for our aging bodies. You can enjoy them fresh when in season, or dried as a gentle, nourishing dessert. The secret lies not in one meal, but in consistency, the quiet habit of looking after yourself day by day. Strong bones and steady steps come not from luck, but from that steady love we give to our health. And when your bones are firm and your joints stay supple, you gain more than strength, you regain independence. You can walk to the garden, join your friends at the park, or visit your family in London or Brighton without worry. That, my friends, is the quiet happiness of growing older, the freedom to move, to smile, to live life on your own terms. So now, as we come to the end of our journey together, we've traveled through 7 golden gifts of the English plum, from the heart to the mind, from the eyes to the bones, from blood pressure to digestion, and even the cooling calm that soothes us through the summer heat. Who would have thought that something so simple, a humble fruit from the countryside, could carry such wisdom within it? But remember, as with every gift from nature, balance is key. Eat plums in moderation, about 5 to 7 fruits at a time, always after meals. Never on an empty stomach, and always choose fresh, ripe ones washed thoroughly. Because a clean, pure fruit brings not only taste, but trust. And for those who love to prepare ahead, dried plums soaked in warm water or a drizzle of honey make a wonderful, gentle treat for the evening, sweet, soft, and comforting to both the body and the soul. Yes, my dear friends, the English plum isn't just food, it's a quiet companion on the path of healthy aging. A reminder that nature still watches over us, offering small but steady kindness in every season. So next time you hold a plum in your hand, don't just taste it, appreciate it. For in that little fruit lies a message as simple as it is profound. Health doesn't always come from medicine, sometimes. It begins with gratitude. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. And if you've enjoyed our gentle talk about the beauty of simple living, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, so we can continue this journey together, growing older, wiser, and happier, one story, one fruit, one peaceful morning at a time. How to choose, prepare, and enjoy plums the British way. And now, my dear friends, before we end our story about the English plum, let's talk about something truly practical. How to choose, prepare, and enjoy them properly so that every bite brings both taste and health. When choosing plums, look for those with smooth, firm skin, gently glowing in rosy purple tones. A thin layer of natural white bloom on the skin, that misty, powdery touch, is a sign of freshness, proof that the fruit has come straight from the orchard, untouched by polishing chemicals. Avoid plums that are too soft, wrinkled, or have cracks in the skin. They may already be fermenting or damaged. Fresh ones will still have a small stem attached, showing they've not been picked too long ago. Whenever possible, buy from local orchards or farmers' markets around places like Kent, Somerset, or Devon, regions known for their rich, sun-kissed fruit. Ask the vendor if the plums are grown without artificial ripening or heavy sprays. Even when you've chosen carefully, always wash them well at home. Here's a simple, safe routine I often recommend. Rinse the plums under clean running water, then soak them for about 15-20 minutes in a bowl of lightly salted water. This helps remove dirt, bacteria, or any pesticide residue, especially important for seniors with sensitive digestion. After soaking, rinse again with fresh water and let them dry naturally. Now, timing and portion matter too. To enjoy plums properly, never eat them on an empty stomach. Their natural acidity can raise stomach acid and cause discomfort. The best time is about 30 minutes after a meal when your digestion is already active. A good serving size, around 5 to 7 plums a day, no more than 10 at most. That's enough to enjoy their refreshing flavor and benefit from their fiber, potassium, anthocyanins, and vitamin A without causing internal heat or mouth irritation. If you'd like, divide your serving into 2 smaller portions, perhaps 3 or 4 after lunch and a few more after dinner. That way your body absorbs the nutrients evenly and your stomach stays light. Now for the fun part, the ways to enjoy them. Of course, the classic way is simply to eat them fresh and crisp, just as they are, slightly tart at first, then sweet and juicy at the finish. But for those who enjoy experimenting, there are some delightful British-style twists. You might try chilled plum slices with a sprinkle of sea salt, a surprisingly refreshing treat that brings out the fruit's natural flavor. Or make a warm spiced plum compote, simmered gently with ginger, cinnamon, and a touch of honey, perfect on a cool summer evening with a bit of vanilla yogurt. And for something truly traditional, make homemade plum syrup. Layer clean halved plums with sugar in a glass jar, one layer of fruit, one of sugar, and leave it in a cool spot for a few days. When the sugar has melted completely, you'll have a beautiful deep red syrup, rich with the fragrance of English orchards. Just a few spoonfuls stirred into cold water or sparkling soda will give you a naturally sweet, refreshing drink. No chemicals, no fuss, pure nature. But remember, moderation and care are always key. Eat plums mindfully, enjoy their tart-sweet balance, and listen to how your body feels. Because a plum, when eaten with gratitude and knowledge, is not just a snack, it's a simple act of self-care. So next time you find yourself walking through a summer market in London or Bristol, and you see those baskets of glistening English plums, take a moment. Pick one up, feel its weight in your hand, admire its color, and think of the quiet journey it's taken from the orchard to your table. Then, when you taste it, remember this. Every fruit carries the kindness of nature, the sweetness of the earth, the care of the farmer, and the promise of good health. And perhaps, just perhaps, the secret to graceful aging lies not in pills or potions, but in something as small, simple, and beautiful as a single English plum. Health notes: eat your plums wisely and safely. My dear friends, as with all good things in life, moderation is key, even with something as gentle as the English plum. For most of us, plums are a gift, sweet, refreshing, and full of benefits. But for some, especially those with certain health conditions, we must be a little more careful. If you suffer from acid reflux, gastritis, or stomach ulcers, it's best to limit your portions or simply enjoy one or two small plums to satisfy the craving without causing irritation. Their natural acidity can increase stomach acid, which in turn may lead to discomfort or burning sensations if eaten on an empty stomach. Those living with kidney disease or a history of kidney stones should also take care. Plums contain oxalates, which can bind with calcium in the urine and form small crystals. If you truly miss the taste, have just a small piece now and then, but no more than that. If you're on long-term medication, please ask your doctor first, as plums may occasionally interact with certain prescriptions. And of course, avoid plums that are overly soft or bruised. Such fruit may have started to ferment and can upset your digestion. Always wash and soak them thoroughly before eating. Cleanliness matters, especially for seniors whose digestive systems are more sensitive. So yes, my friends, eat plums, but eat them wisely. Because eating well isn't just about taste, it's about caring for yourself gently, with awareness. Here's a little summary of what I always tell my patients. Choose fresh, firm plums with smooth skin and a natural powdery bloom. Rinse carefully and soak in lightly salted water for about 15 minutes. Eat them 30 minutes after meals, never when your stomach is empty. Enjoy 5 to 7 plums per day, no more than 10. Split them into 2 small servings, perhaps a few after lunch and a few after dinner. For those with chronic conditions, always check with your doctor first. You may eat them fresh, chilled, or in traditional British ways, with a pinch of sea salt, stewed gently with ginger and honey, or turned into homemade plum syrup for a refreshing drink on a warm afternoon. But remember, plums are a supportive friend, not a substitute for medicine. They nourish the heart, steady the blood, and cool the body, but only when treated with respect and balance. So, my dear listeners, as we close today's gentle conversation, let us remember this simple truth. Even the healthiest food can harm when taken without care, and even the humblest fruit can heal when eaten with understanding. The English plum, in all its summer beauty, reminds us that health isn't about abundance. It's about balance, gratitude, and a quiet connection to nature. So next time you see those baskets of deep red plums shining under the morning sun in a market in Kent or Manchester, take a moment to smile. Pick just a few, wash them well, and enjoy them slowly, not in a rush, but as a small act of love for yourself. Because in every mindful bite lies something much bigger than taste. A reminder that caring for your health can be as simple, as sweet, and as peaceful as enjoying a single perfect English plum. Health precautions, eat smart, stay safe. And now, my dear friends, let's talk about something equally important: how to enjoy your English plums safely and wisely. Because even the kindest fruit, if eaten the wrong way, can turn from a friend into a little troublemaker. If you have kidney problems or a history of kidney stones, please be mindful. Plums contain oxalates, which can bind with calcium in the urine and form tiny crystals, particularly if you don't drink enough water or are on long-term diuretics. If that's your case, you may still enjoy a taste, just 1 or 2 small plums occasionally, with plenty of water throughout the day. People with a naturally warm body type, prone to skin irritation or rashes in the summer should also take care. Because plums are slightly acidic and sweet, they can sometimes raise the body's inner temperature. If you often experience itching, acne, flushed skin, or dryness, it's best to enjoy plums in moderation or try something gentler like a pear or an apple which cools without stimulating too much heat. For expectant mothers or nursing women, the same rule applies, small amounts only. Though plums are rich in nutrients, their acidity and high fiber content can sometimes cause mild bloating or heartburn. Enjoy 1 or 2 plums after a meal and drink a little water afterward. If you already experience acid reflux or slow digestion, it's wise to ask your doctor before eating them regularly. Those on prescribed medication such as blood thinners, warfarin, blood pressure tablets, or diabetes medication should consult their GP first. Plums are naturally high in potassium and antioxidants, which may slightly affect how these drugs work, especially in people with kidney or blood pressure concerns. Or if you're taking any of these, a quick chat with your doctor is the safest way forward. And please never eat bruised, moldy, or overripe plums. Soft or damaged fruit can ferment quickly and grow bacteria or fungus, which may upset your digestion or trigger infection. Older adults with their more delicate stomachs are particularly sensitive. Always check carefully, only eat plums that are firm, smooth-skinned and clean, with a light white bloom still intact. Here's my simple routine, it's one I use myself here in Somerset. When you bring your plums home, rinse them under cool running water, then soak them for about 15 to 20 minutes in a bowl of lightly salted water. This helps remove dust, bacteria or pesticide traces. Use clean water and pure salt, no harsh cleaning products. After soaking, rinse again and pat them dry gently. If this is your first time trying plums after an illness, or if your stomach's been sensitive lately, start small, just 1 or 2 fruits and see how your body feels. If all goes well, you can gradually enjoy up to 5 to 7 plums a day divided between lunch and dinner. Always pay attention to how you feel afterward, your digestion, your energy, your skin. Your body will always tell you what it needs, we just have to listen. And so, my dear friends, we've reached the final step in our little journey with the English plum, from how to choose it, to how to eat it, to how to care for your health while doing so. It's a simple truth, but one worth repeating. Eat with joy, but also with wisdom. Because health, like a well-tended garden, grows best when we nourish it gently, patiently, and with love. So next time you're standing in a market in Kent or Manchester holding a basket of plums that shine like tiny jewels, take a deep breath, smile, and know that you're not just buying fruit. You're choosing a little piece of nature's kindness, one that will care for you as long as you care for it in return. A final word, the heart of the English plum. And so, my dear friends, we've come to the final part of our journey together, a quiet reflection, a few gentle words from the heart, because every plum we've spoken of today carries more than sweetness. It holds peace, comfort, and the reassurance that nature still knows how to care for us, even in our later years. As the old English saying goes, to eat well is not just to taste, but to understand. And that's exactly what I hope this little talk has offered, not just facts, but understanding. We've traveled from childhood memories of the orchard to the 7 remarkable gifts of the English plum, for the heart, the eyes, the mind, the bones, the blood, and the skin, and finally to the gentle art of eating well and wisely. But before we close, allow me to share a few final thoughts, as one might from a friend, a doctor, or perhaps just an old soul who's learned to listen to nature. 1. Respect nature's rhythm. The plum is not a medicine, but a message, a quiet reminder from the earth. It doesn't work in haste or promise miracles, but like an old friend, it walks beside you each day, supporting your heart, calming your digestion, brightening your eyes, and sharpening your mind, softly, silently, faithfully. When you eat, do so with gratitude, for in every fruit, there's a story of rain, soil, sunlight, and care, a gift from the earth to those who know how to cherish it. 2. Remember the power of balance. Too much of even the best thing can tip the scale. The secret, as always, lies in moderation. 5 to 7 plums a day, washed, fresh, and shared between 2 small meals. Never eat them on an empty stomach, never when the fruit has softened too far. If you have delicate digestion or a bit of trouble with your stomach or kidneys, adjust gently or speak to your doctor first. Balance is the quiet key to well-being. It's what keeps our days steady, our steps firm, and our hearts calm. 3. Pair the plum with a healthy life. The plum alone cannot carry our health, it only joins the orchestra. To live well, we must move, stretch, walk in the park, and let the morning sun warm our skin for a few minutes each day. Drink plenty of water. Eat a variety of foods, fish and greens, porridge, oats, and a little fish and chips on the weekends if you wish. Sleep deeply and laugh often, because health is not just what you eat, it's how you live, how you breathe, and how you find joy in the small things. 4. Stay connected, that's where happiness lies. I've always believed that the true peace of growing older lies not in solitude, but in connection, with family, with community, and with the gentle world around us. I still remember my grandmother in Devon, her hands stained from picking plums at the edge of the garden, laughing as the children ran by. Those memories, the sound of voices, the smell of the orchard, the sweetness of summer, remind me that good health is not just about the body, but also the soul. So yes, eat your plums, but share them too with your grandchildren, your neighbors, your friends, because sometimes a bowl of fruit shared with love can heal more than any medicine ever could. A closing thought. My dear friends, if you take one message from this postcard, let it be this. The English plum is more than a fruit. It's a symbol of gentleness, patience, and care. Eat it with mindfulness, live with gratitude, and keep your heart open to the quiet lessons of nature. Thank you for listening, for sharing these moments with me today. If you've enjoyed this journey through the orchard of life, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, so that we can keep walking together, discovering new stories, new lessons, and new ways to live well one day. One fruit, one quiet joy at a time. Stay well, stay warm, and may your days, like the English summer, be bright, gentle, and full of life. The last word, memories from the English orchard. My dear friends, as I sit here looking out over the gentle hills of Devon, I'm reminded that memories, much like plums ripening in the sun, grow sweeter with time. They carry the scent of the past, the laughter of children, the kindness of neighbors, and the quiet strength of those who came before us. If you have a story to tell, perhaps about the best plums from your hometown or a cherished family recipe passed down through generations, I invite you to share it. A small comment, a memory, a photo, these things connect us. They turn health into heritage and fruit into friendship. And truly, that warmth of connection is something no medical book could ever teach, only the heart can. A few words of wisdom from experience. Over my 20 years as a family doctor, I've seen many well-intentioned people fall ill from what seemed harmless. A few too many plums, a syrup made too sweet, a stomach too empty before eating. The truth is simple, even nature's gifts must be treated with care. If you live with stomach troubles, kidney stones, or diabetes, or if you're taking medication, do speak to your GP before making plums a daily habit. Safety, as I always say, is worth more than sweetness. Passing the love to the younger ones. If you have children or grandchildren, take a moment to share this little joy with them. Tell them these are English plums, gentle for the heart, the eyes, and the memory. Show them how to eat them fresh, not soaked in sugar, not from street stalls, but from local markets or gardens where they grow naturally. Because to pass down the love for natural food is to pass down respect for the earth, for health, for home. Let's not allow the younger generation to believe that health comes only in packets or pills. Teach them that real nourishment often grows quietly on a tree in the garden, glowing red in the summer sun. A short season, a long memory. Plum season here in Kent and Yorkshire is brief, a few weeks of joy that vanish too soon, so make the most of it. You can dry the plums in the oven to keep for winter, or stew them gently with honey and ginger for a calming syrup. Write the harvest date in a small notebook, your own health diary of how food and memory intertwine. That way you'll carry the taste of summer through the cold months, one spoon at a time. If ever you feel discomfort after eating, bloating, nausea, or an unsettled stomach, don't wait. Call your doctor or visit the local clinic. The plum is a friend to health, but when something feels wrong, it's best to ask for help early. A heartfelt goodbye. So my dear listeners, thank you truly for spending this time with me. Through all these summers, I've seen how a simple fruit can hold not only vitamins, but also memories. The English plum, sweet, tart, and humble, has cared for the heart, the mind, and the spirit of so many. But more than that, it has brought people together. Grandparents and grandchildren, friends and neighbors, sharing stories over cups of tea, or standing in the kitchen, cutting plums into a bowl while music plays softly in the background. Because health is not just about the body, it's about connection, the kind that grows when we remember, share, and smile together. So the next time you bite into a plum, may you not only taste its sweetness, but also feel the love of the land, the kindness of the seasons, and the quiet reminder that a good life is one that's shared. Thank you, my friends, for walking through this orchard of memories with me. May your heart stay strong, your days gentle, and your life, like the English summer, beautifully ripe. A letter from the orchard, a message to remember. My dear friends, when I think of summer in Kent, I don't just remember the scent of ripening plums, I remember laughter, the soft chatter of neighbors in the orchard, the sound of children reaching too high for a branch, and the gentle warmth of a sun that never seems to hurry. These are the small, golden threads that weave together the memory of home. If you too have a story, perhaps the best plums in your village, an old family recipe for plum jam, or simply a memory of picking fruit with your grandchildren, I invite you to share it. Every story told, every photograph, every small comment keeps this living heritage alive. Through them, we build a quiet community, one rooted not just in food, but in love, health, and belonging. In today's fast world of screens and noise, a simple clip of you cutting a plum in the garden, a snapshot of baskets shining red in the sunlight, or a sentence like "My father taught me to make plum syrup this way," these little gestures are acts of preservation. They remind others to slow down, to taste nature again, to honor their roots. We don't need scripts or studio lights, only honesty, warmth, and care. That's how health and culture grow together, sharing knowledge, sharing hearts. If you know how to dry plums properly, how to make plum syrup without refined sugar, or how to prepare them for gentle digestion, share your tips. When you say, "I dry my plums for 2 days to keep their natural sweetness," or "I mix a little honey, not artificial sweetener," or "I eat 4 plums each afternoon and my stomach feels calm," you're doing more than offering advice. You're passing wisdom, not from textbooks, but from experience, kindness, and care. Perhaps you join an online community of British growers, sharing notes with local farmers in Kent, or sending jars of plum syrup to a nearby charity home for seniors. These small acts make a big difference. They turn one person's fruit into another person's comfort. They make the humble English plum not just a fruit, but a bond between generations, keeping the season alive. The plum season in England is short, a handful of warm weeks between late June and early August. But memories can last far longer if we care to keep them. Write them down in a notebook, the taste, the color, the feeling. Store your recipes for plum chutney or jam. Take a photo of the first harvest. Invite your grandchildren to help make a small plum day picnic in the garden. Because every shared memory, every homemade jar or handwritten note keeps summer alive in the heart long after the fruit is gone. If you ever feel discomfort after eating or notice unusual symptoms, don't ignore them. Visit your doctor or simply ask for guidance. Health is precious, and care is part of love for yourself and those around you, a fruit that binds generations. So, my dear listeners, thank you for journeying with me through these gentle stories of the English plum. Over the years, I've come to see that this simple fruit does far more than nourish the body. It brings people closer, parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, neighbors and friends. It carries memories of laughter, of gardens, of sunlight. It reminds us that good health is not only what we eat, but also what we share. The plum's sweetness, its balance of tart and tender, is a reflection of life itself. A little joy, a little discipline, and a great deal of gratitude. So the next time you hold a plum in your hand, may you not only taste its flavor, but feel its story, a story of nature, of patience, and of love passed quietly from one generation to the next. And as I always tell my patients here in Somerset, health is not found in hurry or excess. It's found in small moments, in eating thoughtfully, walking slowly, laughing often, and sharing kindly. So here's to the English plum, to love, to health, and to the sweet simplicity of life well lived. Let's cherish it not as a medicine, but as a memory, a reminder that nature, in her quiet wisdom, always knows what the heart needs most. The golden weeks of the English plum, a season to cherish. My dear friends, this part, if I may say so, is not just about health, it's about appreciation. A quiet reflection on how to honor the short, sweet life of the English plum season and how to carry its goodness through the rest of the year. Here in Kent, the best plums ripen during the golden weeks of late July to early August, just 2 or 3 fleeting weeks when the orchards glow crimson and the air hums with bees. That is the perfect moment, the skin taut and glistening, the flesh balancing sweet and tart, the nutrients still brimming with life. If we learn to use those days wisely, to choose carefully, to eat moderately, and to share what we know, we don't just enjoy fruit. We build a quiet legacy of natural wisdom, the art of timing and preparation. Keep a small note in your kitchen journal, mark the first day the plums turn soft, the week they peak, and the moment they begin to fade. Buy your plums early in the morning, when they're still cool from the dawn air. Set aside 3 portions, one to enjoy fresh, one to make dried plums, and one for homemade plum syrup with honey. Drying plums at home is an old English tradition, simple, gentle, and wise. Choose firm, ripe fruit. Wash, soak briefly in salted water, then dry them under soft sunlight or in a warm oven for a day or two until the outside wrinkles slightly but the flesh stays tender. Store them in airtight glass jars in a cool cupboard. Dried plums, or prunes as we call them, preserve the anthocyanins, potassium, fiber, and vitamin K, nutrients that keep our heart, memory, bones, and digestion strong throughout the year. 5 to 7 pieces a day are enough, an easy, wholesome habit that keeps the summer's strength alive even in winter. Plum syrup, a gentle gift of summer. Making plum syrup is like bottling a season. Wash and dry your fruit, layer them in a sterilized jar with sugar or pure honey. Let them rest for 3 to 5 days in a cool place until the juice turns into a deep ruby red, shimmering like evening light. A spoonful or two mixed with cold water and ice makes a refreshing summer drink, free of additives and full of antioxidants. It soothes, hydrates, and revives the spirit on a hot afternoon, a taste of comfort straight from nature's hand. Simple English recipes, nostalgia on a plate. There are countless ways to enjoy plums beyond the fresh fruit. Try stewed plums with a hint of ginger, or baked plums with a touch of honey and cinnamon for a light dessert. For digestion, add a spoon of plum syrup to plain Greek yogurt, or mix dried plums with warm porridge for breakfast. And on rare days when you fancy something daring, a spoonful of spiced plum chutney pairs beautifully with Sunday roast or a bit of cheddar cheese. Every recipe keeps the natural taste alive, no excess, no artificial touch, just the pure warmth of home. Listen to your body, write your own health journal. I often suggest my older patients in Somerset keep a small plum diary. Each day note what time you eat your fruit, how your body feels, your sleep, your digestion, your blood pressure. If your skin feels too warm or you notice bloating, you'll quickly see the pattern. When you understand your rhythm, food becomes medicine in the gentlest way. And when you speak with your doctor or share your experiences with friends, you'll have a personal record, your own quiet study of nature's effect on your body. Spread the word, share the knowledge. Finally, my dear friends, the plum season is not just for one person, it's for everyone. Tell your neighbors in your village group or share your tips with friends online. Eat your plums after breakfast, they're gentle on the stomach. Or add a drizzle of honey instead of sugar, it's kinder to the heart. Each shared word plants a seed. That's how we turn small habits into community wisdom and simple fruits into lifelong lessons. So when the next English summer comes around, when the markets of Manchester and Devon fill with baskets of deep red plums, remember this: the real treasure isn't just the taste. It's the mindfulness, the gratitude, and the care we pass along with it. Let's keep that spirit alive, one plum, one story, one small act of kindness at a time. The health lessons from the British plum, small habits, lasting strength. My dear friends, think of the plum not just as a fruit, but as a quiet companion to good health, gentle, humble, and full of purpose. After your main meal, a few ripe plums, 5 to 7 no more, can be the perfect treat. They are light on the stomach, kind to the heart, soothing for the eyes, and a comfort to the mind. When more people enjoy them the right way, not excessively but with balance and care, the benefits ripple through the whole community. Health, after all, is something we build together, one small daily choice at a time. Eat with balance, live with wisdom. Plums should never replace a proper meal, they complement it. Enjoy them alongside a balanced diet, fresh vegetables, a bit of protein from fish or eggs, calcium from yogurt or milk, and plenty of water, about 1.5 to 2 liters a day. This helps your body process natural acids and prevents mineral buildup in the kidneys. When eaten wisely, plums become part of a healthy rhythm, not a burden on the body. True wellness isn't found in abundance, but in moderation. That's the quiet secret of longevity the British countryside has always whispered: not too much of anything, not too little of what matters. A family tradition, the summer of plums. In many villages across Kent and Devon, families still keep a little note on the fridge: plum season, late July. It's a reminder not just to buy the freshest fruit, but to plan ahead. To dry some for winter, make a jar of honeyed syrup, or save a few for grandchildren to taste after Sunday roast. Passing down this habit is like sharing an old family recipe, a small ritual that brings everyone closer. When we prepare together, eat together, and look after each other's health, the fruit becomes more than food. It becomes a heritage of well-being, the lesson of gratitude. Every summer, I meet older patients in Manchester who smile as they talk about the plums in their garden. "Doctor, they taste better than any foreign fruit." And indeed, these local plums, with their soft blush and delicate bloom, hold just as much nutrition as any fruit imported from afar. Inside each one is a quiet miracle: potassium for the heart, antioxidants for youth, pectin for digestion, vitamin A for clear sight, and vitamin K for strong bones. When chosen carefully, eaten moderately, and respected as nature intended, the humble plum is no less valuable than the most exotic superfood. A simple daily ritual. Each morning or afternoon, take 1 or 2 ripe plums, fresh, clean, and local, and enjoy them slowly. Make sure they are from a trusted grower, free from chemicals, washed gently, and eaten with mindfulness. Let it be your daily act of care, a little promise to yourself and to your well-being. But remember, plums are not a miracle cure. They are a friend, not a doctor. Their magic lies not in instant results, but in quiet consistency when eaten the right way day after day, the wisdom of moderation. As with all good things, moderation is the key. Never eat them on an empty stomach. The natural acidity may upset digestion. Instead, enjoy them half an hour after your meal, 2 or 3 at a time. 5 to 7 per day is plenty. Avoid overripe or bruised fruit. When enjoyed like this, plums support your heart, memory, and bones rather than causing the side effects of bloating or acidity. And if you ever forget, just think of it this way. Eating plums wisely is not only caring for your health, it's honoring the rhythm of nature itself. Beyond the fruit, a way of living. Good health is never about one single food. It's a symphony, a gentle harmony of balanced meals, regular walks, morning sunlight, deep sleep, and a calm heart. Plums are but one note in that melody, sweet, simple, and sincere. So let this season remind us to move a little more, eat a little better, rest a little deeper, and appreciate life a little longer. Because when you eat well, live gently, and stay connected, every summer plum becomes a small gift of time, a whisper of gratitude from the earth itself. The final lesson: living wisely and aging gracefully with the British plum. My dear friends, if there's one great lesson from today's reflection, it's this: good health in later life is never the gift of a single food. It's the sum of many gentle habits repeated day after day. A short walk after breakfast, a few minutes of morning sunlight to let your skin make vitamin D, plenty of vegetables, whole grains, and light proteins, a bit of fish, an egg, a bowl of porridge. And of course, enough water to keep the body clear, prevent constipation, and protect the kidneys when you enjoy your plums. A full night's rest, a calm mind, and a warm chat with loved ones. These are medicines too, the kind that don't come in bottles. Know your own body. Every person is different. Some of us have sensitive stomachs, others have a history of kidney stones or slower digestion. So the wise thing to do is to listen to your body. Start gently, perhaps 1 or 2 plums a day, then increase slowly if all feels well. Write down how you feel. Is your digestion comfortable? Do you sleep better? Does your mouth feel dry or your skin warmer than usual? By observing, you become your own best doctor, and you'll know exactly how this little fruit fits into your body's rhythm, from personal care to community health. But if you keep that knowledge only for yourself, it stays small. Health grows when it's shared. So tell your neighbors, your walking group, or your local church friends about your plum recipes and your experience. Share a post on your community's Facebook group. Upload a photo of your garden harvest in Kent, or show your grandchildren how to make a simple plum syrup at home. No chemicals, just fruit, honey, and patience. When you do that, the plum becomes more than a food. It becomes part of a story, a small bridge connecting hearts, generations, and wisdom. The art of planning the season. You see, plum season in Britain is brief, just a few golden weeks between late July and early August. But if we plan well, its benefits can last the whole year. Dry some in the sunlight of your kitchen window. Make homemade plum jam or syrup to enjoy during winter afternoons with tea. Label the jars with the date, write down your recipe in a little notebook, and share a few bottles with your friends or neighbors. Each act of preparation is a quiet act of love, turning a short summer into a year-long gift of sweetness and well-being. A family tradition. There's something deeply healing about the simple things: picking fruit with your grandchildren in the orchard, telling them stories from your own childhood, laughing together as juice drips down their chins. Every year, families across the English countryside have their own plum tea party, a small get-together to celebrate the season. Homemade tarts, jam jars, and cups of black tea bring everyone to the table. It's not about food, it's about memory, connection, and joy. When you pass down your recipes, your way of caring, you're not just sharing fruit, you're sharing heritage. Personal health first. Still, remember, no rule fits everyone. Even the best of foods must meet your body halfway. Those with chronic gastritis, reflux, or weak kidneys should consult their GP before eating plums regularly. If you're on medication, Blood thinners like warfarin, diabetes drugs, or diuretics, ask your doctor first. If you have kidney stones, keep portions small, 1 or 2 pieces, and drink plenty of water. And for those with sensitive skin or eczema, plum's natural acids might cause mild irritation, so try gentler fruits like pears or apples instead. Listening to your own body is the highest form of wisdom, the true message. In the end, my friends, this postcard isn't just about plums. It's about how we live thoughtfully, gratefully, and in harmony with both tradition and modern understanding. To live wisely is to combine the science of medicine with the kindness of memory, to eat with knowledge but also with love, to care for ourselves but also to care for one another. That's the quiet beauty of aging well in England. We keep learning, sharing, and finding joy in the simplest things, like the taste of a ripe plum on a bright summer afternoon in Kent, leaf fluttering in wind, the gentle goodbye from the heart of England. My dear friends, if you remember these few simple things, to respect what nature gives, to enjoy your plums in moderation, to live mindfully and move gently each day, then you already hold in your hands a lifetime's wisdom for good health. Keep a little notebook for your well-being, note how your body feels, and share your discoveries with others. Preserve your plums to make them last through the year, dried, stewed, or turned into a comforting jar of homemade jam on the kitchen shelf. More than that, keep the memories alive, the taste of summer in Kent, the laughter of your grandchildren helping you pick fruit, the smell of fresh grass after a morning drizzle. Health, after all, is not only in what we eat but in what we feel and share. And if you have a long-term condition, remember, caring for yourself begins with understanding yourself. Listen to your doctor, adjust with care, and always return to the gentle rhythm of nature. You don't need expensive pills or miracle cures. Sometimes all you need is the kindness of a simple fruit and the peace of a steady heart. So as this season's story comes to a close, I invite you to stay with us, to keep learning, smiling, and finding joy in the small things that make life bright. Join me on VN Health in Old, where every week we share honest, heartwarming stories of health, balance, and hope for seniors in the UK. Let's grow stronger together, one breakfast, one walk, one smile, and perhaps one plum at a time. Thank you for listening, and may your summer be filled with safety, sweetness, and laughter among your loved ones. Warm regards, Dr. Thomas from VN Health in Old Leaf, fluttering in wind.